What's up, YouTube? As Tim the Tatman would say, I've got a banger for you today, guys, because we do have a good one. We're going to be running the hottest of hot trains in Run 8 Train Simulator. We're running a BNSF Z9 across at least a portion of the Needles racetrack, the double track main across the Mojave Desert, right? To be more specific, we are currently in Barstow. I'm going to call this place the launch pad, which I think is one of the coolest little details. And this hasn't always been here. This has been added at some point, but I got a neat little crew change point here. And I love the old cross ties that they use for steps down to the parking lot. I think that is the coolest thing ever. So anyway, this is our train. This is our Z9. If you're a BNSF fan, you know what a Z9 means, right? Let's go ahead and go to the game stream. There we go. You know what a Z9 is. You know what that means, right? For those of you that don't know, this is the hottest of hot trains. This is the North Bay to Willow Springs Z9. Usually has a lot of UPS traffic on it. I based this train on real life videos that I watched just here recently. It's 4,400 feet long, 5 HPT. We've got power for days. 3,600 tons. This thing is going to scoot across the desert big time. So let's go ahead and you know what? We're going to release the brakes on the train. We're going to set the reverser in forward. We're going to release the handbrake. All we got is the independent holding us. She's not heavy. It's relatively flat right here. We shouldn't have anything to worry about as far as our train rolling out on us. Let's get this music turned down, and we'll see about getting started, guys. Let's get it turned down a little bit here. There we go. Yeah, all right. So I've got some housekeeping to do before we can actually get running. I kind of got to set things in motion with auto, so we'll see about working on that. All right, so what I want to do... We've got a vehicle train on main 4, and we've got this slop freight that I want to run out of the north departure yard and let him start running down main 3, or out of the departure yard onto main 3 and then on to main 2. They would probably do a much better job of this in real life, right? Like, I'm kind of creating some traffic and some congestion just to see what auto does, right? Like, they would probably, like, they wouldn't put the manifest out in front of a Z train. I don't think. Never say never, because we are dealing with the railroad, right? And sometimes stuff that they do does not make sense. But we're going to run it this way. We're going to see what happens, right? So, like I said, it may not be completely legit, but it'll be okay, I promise. This all looks good. Yeah, I think we're set. Let's let him start running out of the yard a little bit here. We'll go down here and look at him if you'd like. We'll go check him out. Here he is right here. This is... I think this is the bar kick. Yeah, this is the bar kick. I'm almost positive. It's got all these plastic pellet hoppers in it. Pretty nice. Got the big SD70 ACE in the head end. Yeah, I just want to make sure he gets going on his way before we turn it over to Otto, because Otto's known, like, you can line things up, and then Otto's like, nah, I'm good. We're doing it different. So I want to make sure this guy gets on his way before I hand the reins over to Otto. There we go. Looking pretty nice here. I don't think Otto's going to knock this down and change it up now that he's on his way. Let's let him hit main 3 before we do that. Let's let him hit main 3. Go up here to this. Very nice. He's already, yeah, he's getting into some dynamics. He's getting into a little bit of dynamic here. That's pretty cool. All right, we should be good. Let's go ahead and hand it over. Yeah, he's on the switch. So we'll go down here to our train. Here's the vehicle train that we're waiting on. There's a ton of other trains out there too. UP trains coming off the UP from Yermo at Daggett. Tons of BNSF trains out on a needle sub. So I really tried to set this up somewhat similar to what it was in real life. I found an awesome 24-hour list of trains from needle sub. And I wasn't necessarily looking for specific trains, but I was looking more for like the timing, right? Like the timing, you can look at like 15 to 20 minutes on average, sometimes less, sometimes more, but like a train like every 20 miles is what we're kind of looking for. There's going to be some gaps, you know, but that should work out pretty good. All right, let's I think we're going to run this without any music today. Let's hop in, let's get our window open, and I think our is 3213, so let's get auto going. And we'll tone him up in just a second. So channel 32, 32, and it'll be tone 13. And we cannot see this signal because I pulled up way too close to it. Bad spur, bad engineer, pulled up too close. Let's do DTMF star 13. It's interesting that they have the 2-digit tones. I did this in real life. I think all of ours were 1-digit. I think it was just like tone 5 or tone 6, you know, something like that. Maybe there were 2 digits. I just don't remember it. Let's request the light. Let's scooch up in the seat here so we can see. Like I say, we only got the independent holding it. It's a light train. It's a tiny train. It's Roger BNSF 33. I still can't see. Maybe we got a light. Yeah, there we go. So he's going to be it looks like he's going to be crossing us over or something. All right, let's go for it. Let's blast off, guys. Headlights on bright. No DPUs. We don't need them. Lee's out of the independent. And we've got a flashing yellow on the bottom. That's going to be like a what is that? Diverging approach medium. Okay, so proceed on a diverging route not exceeding prescribed speed through turnout. Prepare to pass next signal not exceeding 35. I was expecting it to be 30. I was expecting that to be 30, but 35. Okay, so we go through this at medium speed, which is what, 40? Approach medium is proceed, prepared, pass next signal not exceeding 40 mile an hour. So, okay. We'll just go. That's what we're going to do. We're just going to go, guys. Hit it again. She's light. It's not a lot of tonnage. We can kind of yank on her pretty good and not have anything to sweat. Really, like you would have to be a seriously bad engineer to break this thing in too. Now watch Spare go and do it. Now that I said something about it, but speed is 40. We got a 30 and 0.1 miles. And what do we got? There is our vehicle train. It looks like he's easing on down as well. We've got 4 big jacks on the head end. We've got I think it's 3 ES 4400s and 1-9. I think that's what we have. I think that is our power for today. There, we're coming up on 30. Already easing out a little bit here. Man, she is wanting to shoot and scoot. May have to do a little dynamic, a little light dynamic. It's a little bit downhill through here. Go ahead and set them up. We'll see. We may not even need to like get into the dynamics. Just set them up might be enough to hold it. We'll see. Oh, they're crossing us all the way over. Okay. You know what? We'll go with it. We'll go with it. We'll see what happens, how this plays out. You know, for the longest time, Otto really, like, he could not handle overtakes in game. For a long time, he wasn't capable of overtakes. He would try, like, he would kind of try, especially on single mains where you have a slow coal train ahead of you and you're behind him on a faster train. what it seemed like he would do is like he would run you in the siding every once in a while for like run you in and right back out. And I think that was him trying to do the overtake, but he couldn't figure out how to do it. Otto wasn't smart enough back then, but now Otto can handle the overtakes. I'm almost positive I saw something in patch notes that's probably been a while back where it said he was able to do overtakes. So I want to see if Otto's smartened up. Has he gained a few IQ points? Sorry, we got an approach down here at this signal bridge. I don't know what that's called. I wish the West Coast route, really any of them, had signal names. You got milepost. Like you can do milepost. Oof, we're getting fast. Let's slow it up a little bit here. We can do milepost. But no actual names, and I'm probably very high certainty that these signals probably have a name associated with them. You know, I can't say for certain. I've never worked on BNSF, but I would say they probably have names. And a little bit more dynamic. Let's slow her. Let's rein her back in. She's wanting to go, guys. Like she really just is. She's wanting to take off. Check the cam too, make sure everything is going well with that. Nothing's freezing up. Let's go to the BNSF cab scene. There we go. It's not really the greatest though, because it's kind of obscuring the, I mean, we've got the other screen right here. Yes, we could go by. It's going to be highly congested getting out of Barstow. It's not going to be easy. We got UP going against us too. Of course, I would imagine UP would be like the redheaded stepchild because this is BNSF trackage rights for them. So usually when you have trackage rights, you're like a second-class citizen. You know, you're not given high priority. They're like, he can wait. But the thing, like, when you have trackage rights and they start shunning the railroad with trackage rights, it can then turn into a pissing contest because it's almost certain thing that the roles are going to be reversed somewhere else, and then that railroad is going to say, you know what, your train can't go because you're not letting our trains go. So yeah, there's ways around that, right? All right, we're heading down here to the bridge and the Amtrak station, just easing along 30 mile an hour. Trying to see what's going to happen. It looks like everyone is blasted off out of town that I wanted to, so that's good. That's always a plus. Go into some super light dynamics. We just want a hint of dynamics. We just need a hint. Throw them up a little bit here because it's like we got a red down here. Yes, we do. We got a red. Amtrak, Barstow Harvey House. Santa Fe would have, they had Harvey houses all over the system. In fact, I want to say they had one where I live in Texas. There was something similar to a Harvey house here. What main is he on? He's on our main, so we're falling behind this dude. Okay. We shouldn't even need to we should barely need to touch any air on this train. These dynamics are really good. Yeah, we'll just ease up here and stop for a bit. And someone leave a comment in a previous video a while back said, can't believe that Santa Fe is gone. That was one of the big ones back in the day. Santa Fe, the Atchison, Topeka, and Santa Fe Railroad The blue and yellow. Or the war bonnets. But either way, one of many that has been siphoned down into just a handful of railroads left today. It's really crazy how many railroads we had just... It's been decades now. To me, it just seems like yesterday, but it's literally been decades. But like early 90s and before that, you had so many railroads. Someone had mentioned the Sioux Line in a comment, right? I absolutely remember Sioux Line. I used to get some of their engines on some of our trains back in the day, especially the molten sulfur trains. I used to get a lot of Sioux power on those. Another one, Chicago Northwestern. Long gone. That was taken up by the UP, of course, Southern Pacific, Santa Fe, Conrail, some of the other big ones that are going, the Southern, Norfolk and Western, Seaboard Coastline. You know, it's crazy how all these... All right, we can go now. How all these different railroads have been siphoned down into just literally a handful. You know, is it a good thing? Sure, it streamlines the process, but I don't necessarily think it's a good thing. I really don't. I've said this for years. I've said this since I did it. I feel like the railroads have gotten away from railroading. It just seems like they have. But I digress. We're not going to get on that soapbox. Let's go. We got us a light here. We've got a, this is what, a diverging, I've actually got the list up today. What, this is like a diverging approach. Yeah, diverging approach. Simple as that. So prepare to stop at the next signal. We've got a 50-mile-an-hour track here, but we can't take the 50 because we run it on an approach, so we have to slow it up a little bit. Let's at least get her up to 30. Yeah, this isn't the ideal situation for a Z9. I'm going to say that right off the bat. In real life, this would probably play out completely different. Like, they probably hold all these other trains and let the Z9 go and then run them, you know. I mean, that's the easiest way, but that's not nearly as interesting. You know, it's really just not. It's not nearly as interesting. Back out of the power a little bit. A little more. It says next signal is about 2 miles away. I don't know the territory. Like I said, I'm really just not a West Coast guy. I want to do more on the West Coast. I want to get back on the Depot Plus. I've been thinking about getting on a Depot Plus. I've been on there years ago. I was on there from time to time. I need to refamiliarize myself with the Depot. So if any of you guys are on a Depot Plus, want to help me refamiliarize myself with it, that would be nice. I wouldn't mind doing some locals and stuff like that. I think locals would be really nice. All right, so they're holding the vehicle train. Now, I read this scenario yesterday, and it actually played out a little different. It played out a little differently. Yesterday, we had some UP trains that we had to meet. We had two back-to-back to meet, and the vehicle train went ahead of us. But you know what? We'll go with it. A meet's a meet. I guess it really don't matter like where. We got, is our light up here? No. All right, here's a problem. It says signals 1.3. We're in a left-hand curve, and we got an auto rack train sitting there, so we need to go around there looking out big time. It shouldn't be like, looking at the distance, it shouldn't be right in the curve, but we definitely need to go around there looking out. There's someone's got a diverging approach. So there's other guy. This guy looks like he's moving now. Yeah, it looks like the vehicle train's moving. Set up dynamics. I think he is. Yeah, he's pulling on him. That always, like, especially when you're coming to a stop and you're stopping next to a train that's moving, it can really mess you up because it jacks your, like, your perception of speed. You know, if you focus on the train. Yeah, he's moving, which is kind of cool. Yeah, I thought they were going to run us surround him, but it looks like that's not going to happen. Next signal's only 0.7 away, so let's ease around this curve here. I don't think the signal's in the curve. I think it's down a little further. I do like running side by side. I think that's pretty cool. I wish we actually could have ran with them for a bit. All right, we're 0.5 away, half mile. I want to get in view of that light. That's all I need. I just need to see the light. All right, there's his DPU once again. Which I'm kind of glad, because we may be able to see the signal bridge now if he gets a little bit ahead of us here. Yeah, here it is. Right here. And we do have a red. We got to stop here. There's one of the UP trains. Thing up here. Man, we've done going by Nebo. I didn't even realize it. I didn't even realize we were by Nebo. Always, like in my mind, Daggett should be like right there at Barstow, but there's actually a little bit of distance between the two. They're not like right there together. I think this is Daggett, right? East Barstow, okay. Daggett's a little further up. Maybe this is Nebo coming up here. Told you, I don't know the territory. I really don't. All right, let's just go ahead and stop her here. We're a little independent. Just feather it. There we go. All right, stop. Full independent. I guess we'll hang out here for a bit. Like I said, we're not setting the air up. It's not a heavy train. We just stopped with dynamics, so we're all bunched up. We'll just have to be aware of that when we leave outright. We ease out on the throttle. We won't yank on it so much. So I'm kind of wondering if he's going to let... Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what he's got planned for us here. Honestly, let's call him up again. Phone 13. He's going to get mad. You wait and see. He's going to get snarky with us. See what he says. I don't care how high your seniority is. Sir, my seniority is the top on the railroad. I am the highest seniority of anyone on my railroad. And it says proceed on signal indications that we're not getting anything right now. Okay, yeah, I'm a little, okay, that's not the UP train. That is a Barstow train. All right, the one that left ahead of us is the bar, the bar kick. The one coming at us is the kick bar. So I'm wondering if he's going to run him in the yard. Let's hop out. Let's go check it out. Let's go up here. Let's go check it out. Let's do a little rail fanning here. No. I need to get the rest of the locomotive packs. I don't have them. I need to do that. I need to get the yeah, that's Nebo up here. We haven't been by Nebo yet. I don't know what he's doing. To be honest, I don't. We can peek and cheat. We want to have an idea. Oh, that's the bell bar. Okay, that's the bell bar. That's not the... Okay. Okay. The bell bar is stopped at East Barstow. They got the Yermo to West Colton job. This is the UP train. And they got the North Platte to West Colton. Yeah, I don't know. I guess we're just waiting on a light like this guy to get down the railroad, because this guy's got to get down. I told you, there's a lot of trains. There's like multiple trains. There's a lot going on like right here. Okay, so we're just waiting on the vehicle train to get down the line before we can get a light. All right. All right, there we go. Got our approach. Let's get out of here. Let's just, let's be kind of easy with it. Because we are bunched. We stopped all bunched up. We're gonna yank the slack out of it. There you go. EOT's moving. Go number 2. Yeah, we're just following behind that that vehicle train. That's what we're doing. She's stretched out. You can see now she's oh, come on, Spur. Stretched out pretty decent, right? She's not all green and bunched up, so we can, you know, now that she's kind of stretched out, we can pull on her a little bit more aggressively. I do multiple notches. It doesn't hurt anything. You can do it and get away with it, right? In certain circumstances. Can't always do it, but you know, some people, you know, in the rule book says 1 notch, let's stabilize, 1 notch, let's stabilize. I work with a lot of guys that never did that. They wipe the throttle like crazy, you know, just know when, you know, when you can apply that technique without hurting yourself. All right, so we are running on approach. We'll meet this guy up here. The bell bar. I was thinking it was the kick bar, but it's not. It's the bell bar. He's waiting to get in the yard. That's pretty cool. You can spend a lot of time waiting to get into a yard. That is for sure. I've had some amazing trips to Waycross on CSX before. and get completely hosed the last siding out waiting to get into the yard. Like, take a 6-hour trip and make it into a 10-hour trip just waiting. You know, it happens. It really just happens. A lot of plastic pellet, man. They move a lot of plastic pellets into SoCal. I think once we get through Daggett, we could be okay. We could potentially be okay. Everyone else is get out, you know, they're going to get on the double main and they're going to start running, and they shouldn't be too terribly draggy. They don't have 5 HPT, I do know that, but they're like mid 2s to 3. All right, here's Nebo. I think this is Nebo is the Marine Corps Logistics Center, right? Oh, there's our light. She is stop. We do have red. What main is this that we're on? We are on, all right, the bell bar is on 1, so we're on 2. There's our UP train immediately behind this one. Yeah, they're going to cross this guy. They're going to take him into Barstow. All right, Bell Bar looks good. Number 1 main marker's working. This is the conductor told us. He looked back there at it. He's like, it's on. It's working. There we go. Got another light. Yeah, we run in on some color big time today, guys. All right, let's show you guys what she's doing. All stretched out, looking nice. We're going to kind of ease up there a little bit. We're going to see if we get a little bit more favorable light. We could. We may not, but we might. Yeah, it doesn't look like it's going to change for us. All right, UP train. This is that, I don't know, some kind of tank train goes down to West Colton. And we got another approach. To wing or not to wing? Right back at you, buddy. To wing or not to wing, guys? You like UP wings? I'm not a fan of them. I never have been. They're all right. I just like the traditional shield. Got some stuff going on in the logistics center. It looks like they're doing some car storage. Yeah, the Needles. We're fixing to be on the Needles. We're not even near yet, but Needles always in Run It kind of strikes me as a stepchild, right? Like you don't hear a lot of people doing stuff, and I get it. It's in the middle of the desert. There's not much going on. You've got 3 big grades. You've got Pisgah, Ash Hill, and Goffs. You know, it's a slow boat to China. If you're on any kind of tonnage train, it's going to take you forever. I get that. All right, UP train, main 1 looks good. Marker's working. So, yeah, I totally get that. That looks like that's going to be the West Colton Rose, or the North Platte West Colton, and it looks like we have an approach. Let's go with it. So yeah, I get that, right? Like nothing is better on the Needles when you got a fast running train, and it can get really monotonous if you're on a drag. There's not a lot of crossings to blow for. You know, like I said, the heavy trains, you put them in number 8 and you just stay there for a while. I think the Goffs grade is what, like 20 miles? 20, like at least 20 miles, if not longer than that. That's a pretty decent grade up to Goffs. It's double track CTC. That's not very challenging either. You know, like double track and triple track CTC is like the end all be all to good running, you know? Like the more tracks you have, the better running you get. That's North Platte, West Colton. Up here waiting. But like I've talked about Needles before, I'd ultimately love to see a throwback to the D251 running on it. I think it would be, it's not going to replace the monotony of running in the desert, right? But it's going to give you more things to think about if you're running a train, because D251 directional running, ABS running is completely different than double track CTC main, you know? Way different. You know, biggest difference wasn't CTC. It was ABS, and what they did, and I want to say it changed from ABS to CTC in the early 2000s. But what they would do, it was ABS from Ibis to Daggett, so they would give a blank, like something, if I read correctly, something like a blanket track warrant from Ibis to Daggett on, let's say, like main number 1 if they were westbound. And then that was it. Then they ran off the signals. The next big difference was there were no CTC crossovers. There were crossovers, but they were all trailing point 10-mile-an-hour hand throws. So there wasn't any of this running trains around each other on the different mains. All right, we got another approach, so we can go with it a little bit further. There was no running trains around each other like you see on the CTC. The trailing point crossovers were basically used as an escape route to get trains around derailments and track maintenance, like if they're doing curve replacement, you know, rail replacement, something like that. And this is all stuff that I've read from other sources on forums and stuff like that. They would they put a switch tender out at the crossover, and they would line the hand throws, so the train would have to pull through the crossover because it's trailing point, right? They did all trailing point because supposedly it was less maintenance for a switch. It's less wear and tear on a switch at high speed that is trailing point versus facing point. So that's why all the crossovers are trailing point. So you'd pull the train high, switch tender would line the switches, the train would back through it at 10 mile an hour, get on the other main. The switch tender would line them back, and then they would go down that main around the derailment or whatever the case may be. Actually, we're already in power here. So that was the next big difference. So if they didn't have traditional CTC crossovers to get trains around each other, how did they do it? Well, that's where the little sidings, like you see these sidings on the route. Let's go to the needle sub. Ash Hill, Amboy, Goffs. Back in the day when it was D251, there was a siding on each main. So there's a siding on main 1, a siding on main 2. Main 1 was the westbound main. Main 2 was the eastbound main. So each main had its own siding. Pisgah had sidings. Katie's, like all these places, like there were way more sidings back in the day than what there are now, and they were double, so there would be one on each side. So these sidings were hand throw siding. UP slop looks good. Main 1 marker's working. They were hand throw sidings. So basically the dispatcher could give you instructions. There we go, got approach medium. So now we can really go with at least a little bit. Dispatcher would give you instructions to take the siding to let someone overtake you. And so what they'd have to do is they would stop at the switch, hand through it, line himself in. Now here's the sucky part about it. And this only started when they had 2-man crews. You line yourself in, once the train cleared up, the conductor would have to line it back to main line and then walk to the head end. There is no lead-in signals, no nothing. Just line yourself in. There are 10-mile-an-hour sidings. Line yourself in. Put the switch back to normal position behind you. And then get overtaken. Now on the exit end of the siding, they didn't have to line. Nothing on the siding was power. This is all hand through. But the exit end was a spring switch. So they could just take the spring switch and it'd have a little dwarf signal down by the siding, and it only showed 2 aspects. It showed stop and approach. And you would get an approach out. It didn't matter. You just get an approach out, and usually just a little bit further past that on the double main would be a set of signals. It may be a half mile away, but usually this is pretty close to it. So you'd have a lead out signal. You'd have the approach, and what they would do to keep you, like, you just left after you made your meet, but there's maybe someone else behind that train that just overtook you. So what they did was that the dwarf would only show an approach if that block and the previous 3 weren't occupied. So if any of the blocks from that point 3 back were occupied, it would show a red and you couldn't come out. If they weren't, you get an approach and you could come on out and it would be fine. So really different type of running for the D251. You know, I've read a little bit about it here and there. I've read some stuff where some guys that worked on it when it was D251 talked about it, but very different. I'm curious if the dispatcher even had a board, since it was track warrant from Ibis to Daggett. Did it even show track occupancy? Like on the old boards, the old CTC boards. I'm not talking about the new computerized stuff. I'm talking about the old stuff. Either way, I think that was... man, we got another train back here. A much more complex way of running. We got another flash in yellow. So we're starting to get a little separation here. Hopefully we can get on it in a bit and run. I don't know. I think the complexity of that kind of running make the route, maybe pass a little faster because you're thinking more about your limits and stuff like that. All right, stack train number 1 main looks good. Marker's working. BNSF 7333's got a approach medium 735 outpost number 2 main. I think they only call out less than clears, right? Oops, didn't mean to do that. I don't know why this guy didn't ease up. That's that was a permissive signal, right? I don't know why he didn't ease up behind that other train. See what else we got. Just a straight approach down there. This stretch here to like Hector is like some of the best running on the needle sub. It's pretty flat. You can run. If you're getting favorable signals, you can run. Trying to think, what train is that? Not sure. I think it's some kind of Memphis train or Kansas City. All right, intermodal number 1 main looks good. Marker's hanging. Yeah, still hoping this light kind of clears up for us a little bit. I'm curious to see at some point if auto starts like shuffling traffic. There, let's start slowing her up. Still an approach. Board for today is something a little different. I'll show you guys in a second as soon as we get through this crossing here. We got flashing yellow. Nice. Okay. Our horn for today is, like I said, this is the ES 4400, so we're running with the K5HL-2. I'm assuming that's correct for the ES 4400s. I really honestly don't know. Man, that thing's did go into a clear. All right, well, let's get some 70-mile-an-hour running, and we're going to get to it really fast. All right, let her settle down a little bit. This isn't it for our meats. We got a lot more meats out there. There may be a little lull. It looked like everything kind of stacked up there. It's Daggett and Barstow. All right, coming up to Mineola. I think there's a road crossing up here. There is, all right. All right, she's going to get it with this 5 HPT. We're going to send it. All right, there we go, through Mineola. Let's keep going with her for a bit. Yeah, I really think traffic and congestion is really what makes the needle sub. Kind of weaving your way, you know, something other than just like running wide open the whole way. Got our next light up here. Yeah, we're kind of flirting with that other train, that vehicle train ahead of us. I couldn't imagine running this route in real life. This thing would have to put you to sleep. I don't see how they do it. I really don't. Especially that long pull from Bakersfield. Like, you've done run to Hatchapee. You've been on your train for a while before you get to this point. So you got to be wore out and tired. Like, there's no way. All right, got to approach medium. Number 2 main, 7333. East. No, let's start setting her up. May have to grab a little air. We'll see what she does. Oh, we got another clear. Never mind. All right, let's go with it through Newberry. We got her all bunched up. We'll ease out on her a little bit. All right, had a clear. Number 2 main. We're still good. Newberry's where they get that pink lady ballast, right? Isn't that what they call it? Newberry was another spot they had sightings for D251 back in the day. Looks like another approach medium. That could very well clear up by the time we get down there. I think these whistle posts are just a little bit close for 70 mile an hour. Have to blow through that thing so it makes it look like we started earlier. Right? Have to fool the nanny that's constantly watching you. At least we don't have that in game. We don't have to deal with that in game. They got all kind of stuff to tattle on you. Cameras and monitors. Man, she's getting it, right? We got another flashing yellow. We'll at least run pretty good up to that point. Yeah, that vehicle train's climbing upwards. She's probably starting her climb into Pisgah is a pretty good grade, so she's probably going to be a little draggy going uphill. We probably got about double the HPT that they have. And we got our next meet coming up here. This is going to be the Katie's Local. That's some old school power on it, right? Looks good. I dig it. Still flashing yellow. Come on, clear up for us. Approach medium. Katie's looks good. Number 1 main. Marker's hanging. All right, well, let's come out of the throttle. Set up the dynamics. And that's probably going to be it for a little bit for the meets. I think there's a little bit of a lull. That 24-hour list that I looked at, like on average about 15 or 20 minutes. Sometimes there'd be like an hour between trains. Like they had some pretty big downtime spots of downtime in that list. I was a little surprised by that, but you know, it just depends. Things get bunched up, it all runs together, and then you won't see anything for a while. That's kind of like the Transcon where I live. It's about every 15 or 20 minutes, sometimes longer, but on average, I would say about 20. Average, honestly, I'd say probably about 20 minutes, probably about 3 an hour. That's both directions. Trying to watch that light, see if it gives us something more favorable. So I was thinking if I can get back in the plane, we might do some flying in Microsoft tomorrow. We'll see. I got to get type rated in the A300 again. It's been a while since I've flown that thing. There we go. Coming up on... Oh, actually, we got another approach medium. It upgraded on us. Okay, well. We'll get back on it. All right, BNSF 7333 has got an approach medium, number 2 main. What is this? 719.2. This thing about running on lights like this, running on anything less than a clear, it definitely keeps you on your toes, which to me kind of makes time pass by a little quicker. Yeah, I'd love to see the old searchlights and R2 signals on the needle sub. That's what they had back in the day. I don't think they had any bridges or cantilevers. The only pics of cantilevers I've seen on the needle sub were actually at Daggett. So I don't, there may have been some in Needles proper, but I don't think there were any along the route. Some of the stretches over in Arizona and New Mexico definitely had cantilevers and stuff like that, lots of signal bridges, but this stretch, the Needles didn't. I think it was just regular mass mounted R2s and searchlights, the H5s or something like that they call them. Then they had the little 2 light dwarfs. It was actually a single light dwarf. They just showed 2 aspects coming out of the sidings, and then going the opposite, like when it was D251, it was only signaled one direction. So running the other way was like track warrant with no signals, but they did have switch indicators. So the spring switches, if you were running against the flow, and you came up on a siding that had the spring switch on the exit in, they would have a spring switch indicator and it would be red or green. So if the little light down there on the box was green, then you knew you were good. If it was red, then you weren't good. And I think that tied it, well, actually that couldn't tie into the ABS because there was no signals going that direction. So yeah, you're really kind of at the mercy of those spring switches. And I want to say maximum authorized speed against the current of traffic was 49, I think 49 mile an hour. So not the super fast running that you had otherwise. All right, another approach medium. We should be coming up to Hector. Let's take a peek. Let's cheat. You know what? Let's see where that guy's at. Oh, he's already over Pisgah. Yeah, he's already over Pisgah. We're right. Yeah, okay, no. The bar kick is The vehicle train is not. We're running right up on him. Yeah, we sure are. We're running up on him. This may be kind of a longer video today. I want to get some. I want to get some good running in. Yeah, we got us. The vehicle train is the San Bernardino to Clovis. Manifest is the bar kick. We got stack trains. We've got all kind of trains out there. There's a ton. There really just is. There's a ton. Lot going on the Needle sub. Very busy. I think our vehicle train is going to be slowing down a good bit. Going up to Pisco. I don't know what the grade is. It's definitely at least a 1%, if not slightly over. All right, well, it looks like our luck ran out. We got approach here at the 714.2. So BNSF 733, 7333. It's got an approach 714.2, number 2 main. This would be 7333 east out. I've never heard of BNSF train call signals, to be honest. All right, I see a light up there. It's at least an approach. It looks like it's an approach medium. Here we are, Hector. It's hard to say. It looks like it's a steady yellow. Yeah, it looks like I'm going to say that's a steady approach. We'll just keep rolling with it for a bit here. Hector 713. I know back in the day they used to set power out here for Barstow for some reason, I guess to help keep the yard uncongested, like doing that. So trains would stop here, and like if they had extra power dead in tow or something like that, they'd set it out here, and then a crew would taxi out here and take it the rest of the way into Barstow. Hector was a pretty cool location, something a little different operationally. I think they had to set power out here that had something to do with like exhaust emissions in the LA basin or something, like some of those weird California rules, right? I don't know, something about that maybe too. But I think they just generally set power out here that was going to Barstow. Yeah, it's just a straight up approach. All right, we'll carry on. That vehicle train is dragging up Pisa Hill. That's going to be our problem. That's going to be our holdup. All right, well, at least our signal upgraded. We got approach medium now. What is that? A 712.2? 711.2, but that's the 712 right there. Yeah, that makes zero sense. Okay, either way, got approach medium number 2 main, 711.2, BNSF 7333 east out. So we go with a little bit 1% grade. We're going up Pisa Hill now. We'll look at our traffic here in a second and see what's going on. Yeah, the V Subid Klo is topping Pisa right now. We're behind him. We got the bar kick ahead of the V train, and you see we got a Z8 heading westbound. That's why we're not running around anyone right now. He doesn't want to stop this Z8 going the other direction. So we got the S stack train, the bar kick, the San Bernardino Clovis, and the North Bay Willow Springs Z9. And then we got more out there. We've got the Gal Bar, Bear Tables, Denver to San Bernardino, Bear Table train, and we've got a UGDN ST, a Stockton, some kind of unit train. I don't know. Maybe that's a tank train or All right, we're coming up on the 709 now. We got another straight approach. Unless it changes right before we get up on it, we'll watch it like a hawk. We'll definitely take that favorable light if we can get it, but it looks like it's just gonna be an approach. And track speeds dropped to 60. I want to say it's like 60 or less over Pisgah. All the way down to Ludlow. I think to Ludlow. Yeah, just straight approach. Straight up approach on this one. Grade's about 0.8 into Pisgah, so yeah, about 0.1, give or take. It may be a little steeper on the other side. Maybe a little bit steeper. And I want to mess with the date time. So you guys that haven't done it or not familiar with the game, you can do that. You can go up here, scroll your mouse up to the top of the screen, and you get a lot of different tabs that you can go to for various settings and stuff like that. Sim options, date time, October. Let's change this thing to 2024, August 22nd, 2024. It's 8 in the morning. We don't want to do that. Let's go August 21st. We'll do late evening. I should have done this to begin with. Got power line, private power line crossing here. Not a big deal. So our light looks like up here. Another approach medium. Nice. Okay, so it upgraded. I think this is a pretty short block up here. All right, so we got our date and time set, right? Yes, yes we do. That's good enough. Late evening, I like that. Train settings. This is what I run with. Allow slippery rail. Allow brake valve failures, cold weather air brake effects. I don't do the realistic alerter time. That's like one of the main things that I just don't go for. I don't want to hear that thing going off all the time. Realistic train handling, realistic indie braking, string line derailments, switch derailments, tip over derailments. That's basically it. Headline intensity maxed out. Locomotive failure chance. I keep kind of low, honestly. I don't like getting that too terribly high. I would bump it up another notch or so, but it's not something I want to have to deal with all the time, right? As far as other settings, AI signal call. I don't know the difference between 1 and 2 on the approach. I don't know what would be most accurate for BNSF. We also do CSIC, multiplier, and I see some people say this is too much. I max that thing out. Even maxed out, I think, to me, like from my experience, it still looks too smooth. Like there's constantly some kind of motion. It's not like you're riding on, you know, ice and it's perfectly smooth and nothing. Like there's always something going around, you know, going on in the cab, like some kind of swaying. And it doesn't have to be the track conditions. It could be the locomotive ride. Really, like it could absolutely be just how the locomotive rides paired with the track conditions, you know? I remember for some reason our SD50s on the CSX, at least it seemed like to me, high speed, low power settings. I'm talking like 50 mile an hour higher, and you're in low power settings, right? So, you know, 1, 2, 3, something like that. Not really pulling on them, just kind of riding along. You would come out of curves and they felt like they did this weird yawing thing, like they would kind of slam you side to side, you know, coming out of a curve, and it felt like the locomotive was wallowing down the track, if that makes sense to you guys. But like, you know, locomotives can have some really drastic and varying ride effects. Of course, you know, 4-axle rode horrible. You know, they bounced you a lot. They bounced you all over the place. But yeah, I think, honestly, if I could do more CSIC, I absolutely would. I would do more. I think it's a little too smooth for my taste. I haven't seen other railroaders say, but Maybe the track I rode on in real life was just in really bad shape. Bad shape. We did derail a lot of trains because of track conditions, so that maybe that played a part in it. All right, let's bumper up. Let's start moving along here. I want us to get by that Z train. We'll probably end it and then pick up at another point. We may take this thing all the way to Needles. We may do that. I think it'd be a pretty fun trip. Looks like I got another approach medium, and we should, I think, coming into Ludlow, we have a 55 down there, maybe. I think there's a curve, like a left-hand curve somewhere down there that is a 55-mile-an-hour curve. It's pretty slow. There you go. We basically walked up Pisa Hill with this power setup. Sweet, we got another clear. Yeah, we got another clear. So yeah, Pisco was no location for the double sidings. Usually the sidings were offset a little bit too. They weren't like side by side. Like usually they were staggered just a little bit. There's someone out here rail fanning. I haven't heard anything else about the kid that supposedly derailed the train on purpose up in Nebraska for social media content. I hope that wasn't the case and they were mistaken on that. They said they saw some things on video. Because I can tell you now, if that turns out to be true and that kid's convicted, it could very well have a drastic effect on rail fans. I wouldn't be surprised. Which, I mean, to me, I don't rail fan anyway. Like I said it a bazillion times. I had zero desire to do that. There's nothing interesting to see, to me. But I know a lot of people like that. And I think it's a good hobby when you're out there not bothering anyone, just minding your own business and enjoying. It doesn't matter whether you're spotting trains or airplanes or whatever. You know, you're just sitting out there chilling and enjoying and having fun. Another approach medium here. Let's see, we should start downhill anytime now. I was going to kind of go with it for a bit to, there we go, I think we topped right here. I was going to roll with it for a bit to get ready to set up dynamics. Yeah, looks like we're going to beat that Z train. ATG San Bernardino. ATG is what, Atlanta? San Bernardino. We're going to meet him down around Ludlow, probably a little bit to the west of it. Man, this grade just absolutely did not start where I thought it would. It really just didn't. It didn't start where I thought it would. I thought it was right here, but I was way off. Yeah, that's S7333. He's got a approach medium 702.2, number 2 main. 7333 east out. Yeah, no, we're gonna have to get back on it.
BNSF detector milepost 702.7, main 2, ambient temperature 9
We're really not far away from that 55. We're just a half mile away from it. Yeah, I totally miscalculated that, guys, because I don't know my territory. I kind of remember a few things about it, but that one, I completely whiffed that one. I thought we had at least a little bit of a downhill into Ludlow. I can tell here. It looks like there's a grade change right here, but it looks like it may flatten out more. All right, there's our 55. Yeah, it's a pretty decent curve right here. All right, there's our downhill, and we've got another approach medium. BNSF 7333 has got approach medium 701.2, number 2 main, 7333 east out. Let's hurry up and get in these dynamics. There we go, approach medium. Signal's 2.5, so we got a ways to go. I'm kind of curious to see what happens once he once we get by the Z train. All right, 6:99 time. Approach medium. Yet again. Yet again. Gotta be getting close. Gotta be getting close to doing something here. Yeah, approach medium. And this milepost going to be 698.2, BNSS 7333 has got approach medium, 798.2, number 2 main, 7333 east out. We can ease off of it a little bit. Still a good downhill grade, so the grade started way later than what I thought it would. It started a little closer to Ludlow. That other Z train should be getting pretty close. 45, that's right. In Ludlow proper is 45 through that big curve. I think it's another big curve to the left. I think, yeah, this is our Z train here. This is our Z train coming up. Starting to get dusky dark. I want to see if he dims his light. They will. I just don't know at what point they'll start doing it. All right, ATG, Atlanta San Bernardino Z train, Z8 stack train. Very cool. He's chugging uphill. Up into Pisgah is it's going to be a 1.1% grade for him, so he's got a pretty stout climb. And we need to slow up a good bit because we were supposed to hit this signal up at 40. Luckily, it's not a crossover, so it don't matter that much. But yeah, we got a straight approach. Got approach 695.2, BNSF 7333 east out. That's cool on the Z train, the ATG SBD, the Atlanta to San Bernardino. Those were trains I actually worked on part of those way back in the day. They had just started that service with the BNSF out of Atlanta when I hired out. In fact, there were many times I took the CSX portion of those trains and we would only have like 5 cars, like 5 platforms and 3 truck trailers, and that was it. And 2 Dash 9s is just about always 2 BNSF Dash 9s. And our trains were the 183 and the 184, and they would run from Atlanta to Birmingham. We would get them in LaGrange, Georgia, and take them to Birmingham. It was actually a really nice short trip. It wasn't too terribly long. Still over half the subdivision, but they were just really nice trips because the trains were so small. They had tons of power. Like, you could really scoot with those things. And yeah, it's crazy. When I started, there were nothing to those trains. Like, they literally just started the service. And by the time I'd left the railroad, those trains were running sometimes in excess of 10,000 feet. It was crazy how that, like, seeing that service grow. That was the only time I ever saw something like that. Was seeing that service grow like that. That was really cool. And I think it's turned out to be a pretty good service lane from Atlanta to SoCal. I'm not sure where they were going back in the day. They were going to SoCal. I guess they were going to San Bernardino back then. I'm not 100% certain on that. Let's look at this. Yeah, he's crossing us over, baby. Yeah, we're fixing to get some good running in here in a minute. So I think what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and end this here, and we'll just do a part 2. And the part 2 is going to be the overtakes. We know we're going to overtake at least one because we're running on this hot Z9. It's the hottest hot, even though we haven't been treated very hot, but that's partly to my doing. I inspired that. So we're going to end this here, guys. I hope y'all enjoyed. If you did, leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you think about running the Z9 on the Needle sub. Love all of you. Be sure to hit that like and subscribe, and we'll catch you out there next time. Peace. No, big cat. No. Weirdest day ever.